Already back in the early sort of church history, there was a church father named Tertullian who asked the question, what does Athens have to do with Jerusalem? Which is a way of saying, what does culture, Athens, have to do with the Bible, Jerusalem? And we could update that question and ask, what does Silicon Valley have to do with Jerusalem? What do bytes have to do with beliefs? What does faith have to do with technology? Some people have said, well, you know what? The world of technology really doesn't have much to do with faith at all. And so they sort of step back from that world. Others just embrace it without thinking at all. They completely embrace all the latest tools and gizmos and don't really think about the implications about, how these things shape us. What does it mean to unfold and cultivate responsible technology? What does it mean to build tools that honor the Lord and help us to become more like the people that God wants us to be? There's no proof text in the Bible that tells exactly how to use technology. Instead, we need to look at the biblical story, creation, fall, redemption, restoration. This is the big, grand biblical narrative in which we live our lives and in which we do our work. So for instance, with creation, we see already a wonderful world that God has made. And we have to think about creation as more than just planets and stars and fishes and trees. It's everything that God has ordained to be. And that includes the possibility, the latent possibility for technology. And we see also in the opening stories of Genesis that God has given mankind, humankind, a responsibility to care for the earth, to fill it, not just with people, but with all the possibilities latent in creation. And that sort of gives us a framework for understanding that technology is something that God has placed in creation and that He calls us to steward.